Hi everybody, Beth here from the Elko New Market Library. Not only do I work at the library, but I also get to work as a naturalist at a place called the Nye Nature Center. When I'm there, I get to be outside teaching people about things you'll find outdoors in nature, like plants, animals, and of course, trees, which is what I'm going to talk about today. First, let's look at the parts of trees. The roots help to hold the tree in the ground. Without roots, wind and weather could push the tree over. Trees need water and nutrients like minerals, so the roots also pull these things out of the soil. The trunk makes the tree grow tall and provides support for the branches. Bark helps to make sure that things like insects, germs, and dirt can't get to the inside of the tree. It's a little like the way our skin protects us. Growing out wide and tall are the branches. They spread out so they can hold on to the leaves, and so the leaves can get sunshine. I'll tell you more about leaves when we go inside. Trees have lots of textures. Some bark has deep furrows and ridges, and other bark, like we see on this tree, has just little bumps and lines. We can take advantage of these different textures for a fun art project. All you need is a piece of paper and a crayon. Look for a spot that has some interesting texture that you like. Place the paper over the top, and when you rub it with a crayon, you get a sort of picture of the texture on your paper. You can look around for different trees with other textures and try them as well. We can also do rubbings with leaves, and I'll show you how to do that when we go inside. Now, I'm going to spend some time telling you more about leaves. Leaves are very important. They do the work of making food for the tree. If you turn your face to the sun, I'll bet you can feel that sunlight is warm. We can also see sunlight. It makes the world around us bright. That warm feeling and the light we can see are two kinds of energy that come from the sun. All living things, trees, animals, and us, need energy to live and grow. And here on Earth, that energy comes from, you guessed it, the sun. We have a little bit of a problem though. We can't stand out in the sunlight and soak up all of the energy that we need to be able to think and grow and play. We get our energy from the food that we eat. So nature has to have a way of taking that energy from the sun and changing it so that living things can use it. That's where leaves come in. They can soak up that energy from the sun and turn it into food. I'd like you to take a deep breath in and then let it out slowly. That's great. You did a good job with that. The air that you breathed in is called oxygen. That's the kind of air that animals and people need to be able to live. The kind of air you breathed out is called carbon dioxide, and that is air that trees need. The leaves of trees are green because they have something in them called chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is kind of like a trap for energy. It can grab and hold on to energy from the sun. The leaves then take water, the carbon dioxide that you and I breathed out of our lungs, and the energy from the sun, and uses them to make food. The tree uses some of that food to make more leaves and to grow tall and to make flowers, fruits, and seeds. It stores some of that food energy so that it can have it later if it needs it. You and I and all kinds of animals can eat different parts of the trees. Do you like apples or peaches or nuts? And we get energy from eating those tree parts. You can see that the leaves of trees and the leaves of other plants also have a very important job to do in nature. Animals and people wouldn't have any food to eat without them. When we were outside, I showed you how to do bark rubbing on the trunk of a tree. Now I'm going to show you how to do rubbings with leaves. Leaves have lots of interesting shapes and sizes. With this maple leaf, you can see that it's got lots of points and curves and lobes. This one here has lots of rounded edges. It's kind of a lumpy, bumpy shape. And this one is actually one leaf that's made up of many leaflets, which are all of these little structures that look like separate leaves. Doing rubbings is one way of using all of those different shapes and sizes to do art and being creative with colors and textures. When you go out to choose a leaf for your rubbings, please try to find one that's on the ground. If you look at a place where there are lots of trees, you might even be able to find some colorful leaves from last fall. If you absolutely cannot find a leaf on the ground, ask your parents if it's okay to take a leaf from a tree in your yard. Don't pull a leaf off a tree outside your yard unless you have permission from the owner of the tree. Once you have your leaf or leaves, place it on a flat surface like a table. If you want to do this outside, you can find a table outside, or a patch of open sidewalk will work also. You can tape the leaf down if you need to keep it from moving around while you do your rubbing. You put a piece of paper over the top and then rub over the top of it with a crayon. And as you can see with this right here, you can get those sizes and shapes and textures in your rubbing. You can do different effects, like taking another leaf, putting it down, and using a different color or the same color, kind of layer textures over the top. If you want to, you can also take another leaf, put it on a different part of your paper, and use, again, the same color or a different color, and make a rubbing of that. That's what's so great about doing rubbings. You can choose to do it however you want. So now we've had a chance to learn all sorts of things about trees and their leaves and their seeds and all of the other parts that make up a tree. We've got really nice weather now, so you could take a look outside, find all the different trees, see the shapes of their leaves, and find out how and where they grow. I hope you have a great time exploring outdoors.